Donkey Kong Bonanza is officially out, and as we're all playing it, because I definitely still am, I'm literally taking my time. It's like 7-8 hours now, and I'm still like on the third world. Look, I'm really enjoying each world slowly, so I'll talk more about the game when I actually get towards the end and, you know, actually complete it. But until then, we gotta talk about what Nintendo's plans are into the future, because Nintendo has dropped their two biggest Switch 2 titles, and now they're out. Now the future is kind of shaky for them, and we gotta talk about what Nintendo's plans are. Real quick, I'm gonna go back to the last couple days and say thank you so much for over 400 subscribers. When we were trying to reach our goal, we were super close to 370,000, but we're trying to reach 400,000 by the end of the year. If you love Nintendo everything, then make sure you leave a like and subscribe. Let's see how many we can get on today's video, but let's dive into the news. So Nintendo has already exhausted their two biggest titles for Switch 2 so far, being Mario Kart World and Donkey Kong Bonanza, and honestly, I think it's an absolutely amazing start. 2 months in, two massive games. Even though Mario Kart World seems pretty divisive, it's pretty safe to say that Donkey Kong Bonanza is very well received all around so far. And that's awesome, but we still need to have some information as to what's next for Nintendo, especially as people now start to get closer and closer to the holiday season and start planning what they're getting their kids, what games they're buying for them, and let's face it, most of them are going to get Donkey Kong and Mario Kart, but there still needs to be a big holiday game to continue pushing hard this year, and Nintendo really hasn't set anything up. In fact, we really don't have release dates for anything else so far. Nintendo is trying out some new strategy now, and I'm not really sure if I like it. The new strategy is to pretty much just keep things hidden for a very long time until finally they decide to show it off with only like a couple of months until it releases, which is fine. That means there's no like delays and stuff and things that could get in the way, or like showing things off that doesn't come for years and years and years, like Tears of the Kingdom, and obviously the same thing with Metroid Prime 4. So like, yeah, some people might like this, but honestly, I like being hype. I like looking forward to stuff, so it kind of stinks that we don't know what's coming out in the future because of this new method. For instance, the only thing that we have slated right now is some Switch 2 Edition games. For instance, we're getting Mario Party Jamboree Plus TV thing. That's coming on July 24th, so that's next week. Just a week after Donkey Kong, which is interesting. We're also having a Pokemon Presents Tuesday of next week. But the only other one we know is Kirby and the Forgotten Land. That's getting its Star-Crossed World coming on August 28th. So that's still about a month, over a month out, but that's going to be kind of a little August thing for us. But yeah, there's not really a major release coming in August at all, and for the rest of the year, we don't have dates for anything. Okay, I kind of fibbed, because Dragon Drive is also coming out in August 14th to be exact, but I don't want to like hate on this game without playing it, of course, but it's a $20 game. So I'm pretty sure what we see is what we're getting. Just a very basic, you know, little game to tie us over or something like that. I don't know. I don't know what this is supposed to be. For $20, that pretty much tells you what we're going to get. So, yeah, nothing really major in August. I think Kirby's the only thing that's going to save us with that little Switch 2 edition. And we don't know how big or how expansive that edition is going to be, obviously, until the game comes out. We know Metroid Prime 4 is coming to the Switch as a Switch 1 and a Switch 2 edition as well. So it's not necessarily a Switch 2 game. So it's not going to like make people go out and buy a Switch 2 because you can play it on Switch 1. But we don't have any type of release date or anything for that game right now, which is very interesting. Nothing, like absolutely nothing about that game. And they're just very quiet, which is very weird. I hope there's not a delay. You also have Pokemon Legends ZA that's coming out this year on October 16th. This is a Pokemon game that also has a Switch 2 edition. You can play this on Switch 1 or Switch 2. So one thing you might be wondering is, dang, Nintendo really doesn't have any Switch 2 exclusives, it seems like, moving on into the holiday. Well, there's 2 of them right now, but you could argue they're not very huge projects, more spin-off games, if anything. We have another Hyrule Warriors game, which is our 3rd one total in the series, and it's our 2nd Hyrule Warriors based on the world of Breath of the Wild. This one, Age of Imprisonment, is based on Tears of the Kingdom. So that one, we don't have a release date at all. We're really much gameplay outside like a 15-second clip. And then we have Kirby Air Riders from Sakurai. which we don't know when this is coming either. I'm still kind of betting around December like Smash Ultimate did. Sakurai kind of said, just stay tuned. He's still working really hard on it. So I don't know. It didn't give me like a vibe that it's coming soon. So I feel like this game's still being hard in development. So yeah, I don't know. And once again, that's just a spin-off racing game from the Kirby franchise. So it's hard to tell if that's going to do like really well or not. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, none of these games truly feel like a holiday title to me. And I'm not putting them down, not at all. I grew up playing all the Metroid Primes and Kirby Air Riders, so it's not like I'm not excited for these games or anything like that. I even played all the Hyrule Warriors games and 100% of them all, besides of Definitive Edition. I'm still working on that game. It's been like 8 years now. It's just ridiculously full of content, but still, I love these games. I just don't see them as big holiday titles. But there is one that I think could fit that bill, and that's the randomly announced Splatoon Raiders game that just was dropped online about a couple of weeks ago. It's a spin-off Splatoon game, but it's a single-player adventure game, and something like that could very well fit the bill for a big holiday title. But for some reason, if it's not Splatoon and Splatoon is still out, like they didn't even give a date or anything for it, so that might tell you that it's not this year. It's hard to tell. Maybe it's like the beginning of next year or something. Then, you might ask the question, then what in the world is the holiday game this year? Is Nintendo even going to have a major holiday game, or are they just going to stick with something like Metroid Prime 4, maybe even Kirby Air Ride? It's hard to tell. We know Mario's 40th anniversary celebration is probably coming up. They're probably going to start the festivities and stuff in September. They might even have another Nintendo Direct like they did 5 years ago for the 35th, which will probably be where they finally show off this 3D Mario game. I mean, if not, I think it's actually time to legitimately pack it up. Like, I'm so tired of the wait. But yeah, I mean, I don't know where else you would show it besides that. I mean, maybe the next Nintendo Direct, who knows? But either way, I definitely think Nintendo's going to have lots of goodies in store for us for the rest of this year. I don't know as far as releases how it's going to be. I think maybe everything we know might be all we get. There could be a couple surprises, who knows? But another reason why I'm kind of hesitant on this is because Nintendo hasn't made any sort of move to have any type of presentation. Like, they haven't had any sort of Nintendo Direct in their usual June time slot. I mean, we're approaching the final week of July very soon, and there's still not been a single Nintendo Direct. Now, there is a rumor out there, and it's a very reliable one coming from Nate the Hate, who has been spot on this year. Absolutely 100% spot on with his Switch 2 information, so I trust him. He stated, quote unquote, that he has heard of a Nintendo Direct happening this month. He just doesn't know when. All he knew is that it was going to be after Donkey Kong releases. So that could be next week or the final week of July. It's hard to tell. I don't think it's going to be next week, and I think a lot of people agree. There's just way too much stuff going on next week. Nintendo has another online play test thing that they're doing. They also have a Pokemon Presents on Tuesday. Mario Party Jamboree's Switch 2 edition comes out on Thursday, so I'd be pretty shocked if they cram a Nintendo Direct in there as well. But you also got to remember Nintendo's having its 3 months earning briefing on August 1st, which they go to investors and they talk about like what's coming out, and like they talk about their sales so far. So that's when we'll start to hear about sales of the Switch 2 and the games and stuff, and what's their plans for the future. So obviously they probably want to have some info out there. Like, they got to start getting release dates for these games and maybe announcing some more games and stuff, and showing investors like, hey, Nintendo Switch 2 already launched with some amazing games. This is still going to be a huge console for years to come. Here's, the rest of this year, maybe the beginning of 2026, kind of give us like a little idea of what that. So what I'm thinking Nintendo might end up doing is having a big Nintendo Direct at the very end of July. That's, giving us release dates, maybe a couple surprises for this year, and maybe even a surprise or two for next year. And then we're going to move into this holiday season around September, and Nintendo might have a Mario 40th anniversary Nintendo Direct where they either reveal or talk more about that 3D Mario, depending on if they reveal it or not at the Nintendo Direct, but then talk maybe about the Mario movie that's coming out at the beginning of next year in April, talk more about just maybe some smaller Mario games coming, like a sports game or stuff, just kind of blow out Mario's 40th anniversary in September. So that way they can just skip the normal September Direct, since they had a huge one towards the very end of July, early August. So that way, yeah, they're good for the rest of this year, and then they can just move on to next year and get ready for the next Direct in February of next year. That just makes the most sense to me in my head. But who knows? Nintendo is a wild company, and you can never predict what they're going to do because they always do weird things. Now, something else that they could definitely do that would be huge is, besides games, people are really holding out for information about things that are already out. And for instance, like they could drop more GameCube games. We know there's a long list of GameCube games out there, and also games that they've already kind of showed in that little like slideshow that were gonna come. So yeah, I'm expecting some more GameCube games for this holiday, which would be pretty cool. The 3 on there are great. We definitely need some more. And Mario Kart World. Yeah, a lot of people are frustrated with the game right now. There's a lot of issues. There's even some lack of content for a lot of people, and just some modes that are just really wrong and messed up right now. So Nintendo needs to jump on that. Like, it's been a month and they're just kind of not touching this game, which is so weird to me. Like, you need to keep this game alive. And I know some people might be like, it's only a month, but still, a month is a very long time to drop a brand new racing game and not to announce or talk about anything. You know, there's no announcement of DLC or any type of additions coming to the game, any type of updates of adding characters, adding more cups for Knockout Tour, nothing. They're kind of just like leaving the game alone. So I'm hoping in this next Nintendo Direct we do get some news on an update for Mario Kart World, improving the game, adding some more content. I think that's well needed right now. But I'm sure once Donkey Kong Bonanza has its time to marinate the same way that Mario Kart World did, we'll start getting some information. Like I said, within a week or two, I would be shocked if we don't end up getting a Nintendo Direct or some type of presentation, because they definitely don't want to just sit there and stay content and quiet with their brand new, shiny new console, especially when holiday season is approaching and they don't really have a solid plan. Especially if any of these games are coming out in like the next couple of months of August, September, even October, they need to start getting release dates out because time is running up. We need to know when these games are dropping. But let me know in the comments down below. What do you think about this? Do you think Nintendo is doing the right thing by just keeping their information hidden and waiting for some big reveals that only have a couple of months of a wait? Or do you think Nintendo needs to get the hype back, where they're revealing things really early and getting us excited for big things, say, for next year? Definitely let me know in the comments down below. Make sure you leave a like and subscribe before you head out. And like always, I hope you have a blessed day, and I'll see you all on the next one. See you guys.